All right. Hello again, everyone. Hey, I wanted to talk about some remote access solutions that we've set up for some of our customers. A lot of our small business customers are really struggling with this COVID-19 stuff as it relates to working remotely. So, it's useful to think about this in terms of, is it going to affect natural disasters can happen. Obviously, pandemics could happen. Who had that one on the list, right? And so I wanted to briefly go over 4 things that we see successful small businesses do when working remotely. These aren't necessarily expensive solutions. They can be, depending on how far down the rabbit hole you want to go. But I wanted to briefly mention 4 topics. So the first one is the world's #1 collaboration tool, and that is email. You should be able to have email on any device, anywhere, at any time, and they should all sync and they should all talk. So if you read an email on your iPad, it should be marked as read on your laptop. If you reply to an email on your desktop, you should be able to go into the sent items in your iPhone and it's all there, your Android device, whatever. All of that needs to sync and talk. That's #1. If you are in a regulated industry, there's some compliance around that you need to be aware of. The ability to remotely wipe devices if necessary, if they're lost or stolen. But you need to be able to access email since that's typically, most of our small businesses, that's their #1 communication tool with their customers. #2, cloud-based phones. So the ability to have your desk phone and you use it just like you normally would at the office. And if something happens, you can either literally physically pick up the phone, take it home and plug it in and it works. Or B, have a mobile app on your device that would behave in the same manner as your desk phone. That means you can make and receive calls from your office number and be literally anywhere. We see clients use this successfully with mobile sales staffs. So these folks are out and about, beating the streets, and they're able to still be a part of the office. Calls can be parked, calls can be transferred, voicemail, all that stuff is accessible on their smartphone. There are several different solutions we have for that. It just kind of depends on which route is best for you to go. We had an instance of a client just this past week that kind of didn't realize they had these cloud-based phones, and they said, well, how do I forward my phones? And I said, well, you could just literally physically pick up your phone and take it with you and plug it in at home. Really? That's awesome. Yeah, it is awesome. We're doing this now. About 50% of our staff, 40% is working remotely. So they are working from home. Their phones are ringing just like they normally do here in the office. We can intercom back and forth to each other. Hey, can you give me that spreadsheet? Can you email me that PDF? Whatever. We're able to do that in real time, even with people that are working from home. The third thing that we see successful businesses use when working remotely is internal communication. Now, what I mean by that is not email, right? Email is terribly inefficient. What I mean is more of like, think AOL Instant Messenger, right? So Slack, Microsoft Teams, there are a bunch of solutions out there. Google Hangouts. We personally at Allevia, we migrated from using Hangouts to using Slack. So we have Slack channels. And so the specific people can be members of specific channels. You can also do this in Teams. If you have Microsoft Office 365 already, you have Teams. So you just fire up Teams and log in and boom, you're into it. There's no need to think about building these solutions perfectly. Done is better than perfection, right? So my advice to customers is jump into it, start using it, especially in times of turmoil. It's kind of sink or swim out there, folks. Like, you need to kind of dive in and start using some of these solutions. The bonus that I would say to this, #3, is if it has video, right? Physiologically, we are hardwired to recognize human faces. And so I would say if you can get a solution that has a video component to it, that is a definite bonus point. To use that for internal team meetings. You could have a meeting, you could have a Zoom meeting with people at home, people on vacation, people that have been displaced because of this COVID-19 stuff. So definitely that is a definite bonus point. And the last piece that I want to talk about is remote access. So lots and lots of our small businesses have data that lives in their office, in their environment. So making sure that there is a plan to allow workers to remotely access that data definitely needs to be addressed as part of this whole situation. So this could mean a site-to-site VPN tunnel, or a client VPN tunnel rather, meaning you take your laptop or desktop or whatever, even mobile device, home, you establish a secure tunnel with your office network, and you can access office resources. So printers, servers, scanners, what have you, you can access that remotely. Let me give you a good example where that doesn't really work as intended. So if you use QuickBooks, and many of our small business customers do, we do not recommend using QuickBooks across a VPN tunnel. It is just too slow. If you want to access Word documents, PDFs, works great. Works fine. So let me stick on that instance with QuickBooks. If you need to access QuickBooks remotely, the best solution is to remote into a computer at the office. So you can do this with a client VPN and remote desktop. You can also do this with a product that we use. It's really easy. It's called Splashtop. And Splashtop will allow you to remotely access your computer at the office, and it's just like you're sitting in front of it. So all your desktop is the same, Outlook's the same, QuickBooks is the same, whatever your line of business, your core line of business application is the same. The last piece that I'll mention is, a lot of our customers, when they see a quote for cloud, they tend to say, well, yeah, but I could buy a whole server for that, and the server is going to last me 5 years. You're right, you are correct, but in situations like this, where we need to be able to work remotely, something happens at the office, or the internet's down, or the power's out, or whatever, that money is going to paying that cloud provider for uptime. And they're the ones that are handling the heavy lifting of building and moving geographically redundant data centers for your data. So I hope this was helpful. If we can help you, if Allevia can help you, please check out our website, alleviatechnology.com. You can send us a message on there on the Contact Us page. And definitely leave comments on this video, and we would love to help you and work with you in this dire time, really, for some small businesses to get you back up and running and working efficiently remotely. Thank you very much.